Hi, welcome to Creations by Claire. In the video, I'm going to show you how I upcycled my vintage turquoise and gold seashells frames. I had it in my storage room for, I don't know, maybe 20 years. I do not remember where I got them from, but I saved them for this purpose and forgot about them. But they're 4.5 by 3, and they have a 2-inch depth. But I just so love the green, the turquoise color in the gold. And I'm going to try to preserve most color, as you'll see in this video. Oh my gosh, these are so filthy. This is going to take a good bucket of hot water with Dawn to clean these up. But still, look at the gold and turquoise that pops all around this cute little frame. Just gorgeous. Oh, but dirty. We'll get it cleaned up. Let's get started. So I washed the frames with a little soapy water and let them dry completely. If anybody knows what that 1892 means, please let me know in the comments. I purchased these napkins from, I'll put it in the description. And I'm trying to figure out which napkin I will decoupage on the new backing for the frame. So I wore the striped blue, and I did not like the little beach outhouses at all, though it's cute. So the fishies, I really love their cute little fish. Had my daughter help me make the decision. It was rough trying to decide. Purchased these napkins from Target. Big pack of 25 napkins for $3.99, $2.99. That's a great deal. And this is a real nice striped color that I think I'll be using quite often for other things. So I'm going to be using 3 paints: a clear wax, a metallic gold, and an antique wax. I'm going to try to preserve as much of the turquoise color that these frames have, and of course the gold. There's a lot more gold through here. So I'm not going to give it full coverage of the gold and the antique wax. First, I apply the clear wax because I'll be able to remove any of the gold paint or the antique wax that I'm going to apply in the next few steps. I applied the clear wax to all the 3 frames, and then I let it sit for about an hour or 2, and then I found that the wax was still wet quite a bit, so I did remove excess with the paper towel. I didn't show you here, but I did remove it with the paper towel and the excess, and then just let it dry overnight. I did end up using a small little paintbrush about the eighth of an inch to get into the inside of that. The frame, my finger was just too wide to properly. Now I'm applying the antique wax throughout all the three frames. Just trying to get the edges mostly and wiping off any excess that I didn't like or didn't want. And also the edges where the frame meets, try to get some little wax there. Now I'm applying the clear wax. I give it one light coat on all the frames, and I will remove the excess with a paper towel. I'm going to let it dry overnight, and then I'll apply a second and a third coat. I'll let it dry in between, let it dry overnight in between coats. Using the old frame cardboard backing, I cut out new backing using an old box, an old clean box, and I skipped around that one spot that had a little cut, and just cut it out with my scissors. Cut out 3. It's a good thing I cut them a little bigger than necessary. That way I was able to trim off just a little bit on each so they could fit perfectly into the slots of the frame. And now with chalk paint, I'm using plaster, but I could have used any other white. I'm painting the backer boards for the frames, and so that's for the when I decoupage the napkin on these little boards, they'll just stand out a little better. They'll be clearer. Otherwise, they'll be a little bit brownish. You'll see a little bit of brown through that seed napkin. I'm measuring out the size I need on my striped blue napkin from Target. Just moving it around so I can get a complete stripe line there. And just cut it out with my scissors. Now using Mod Podge, I'm going to decoupage these napkins on the backer board, the painted backer board. I'm removing the extra ply. It was just a 2-ply napkin, so just remove one. And this way the napkin will lay nicely and better after you apply the Mod Podge. So that I would ensure that I would put these napkins level correctly on the square. I just painted a little bit, about 1 inch of Mod Podge on the top edge. And once I applied it to the backer board, I applied another coat of Mod Podge, second level, and then pressed down with my fingers and applied the third brush of Mod Podge. And I should have been using my plastic to rub it in. Just seems to rub in there nicely with using the plastic instead of my fingers. Now I'm going to glue in my seashells, and I'm trying to decide. I have 2 of those pectins that I like, but one of them has a little crusty white calcium or something deposits on the seashell, so I want to use that one. Some of the seashells, I don't know how I got them mixed up. They were a little bit too big for the frame, so I had to switch out with a collection that I have. And also trying to decide which direction I want the seashells. Sorry, that's hard for me to say. The seashells to lay. Oh, and I wanted to see how 2 would look, but it was a little bit too crowded, so I settled on only 1 seashell. So there it is. So I'm going to use Gorilla wood glue. Don't ask me why, but it did it very well. It held the seashell very well to the decoupage cardboard. So that's what I'm going to use. I just applied it to the edge of the shell, and it held. So far, it's been holding really good, really well. I kind of eyeballed it using the frame 2 as a guide, but to get it right in the center of the decoupaged cardboard. And that looks perfect to me there. Pressed it into the cardboard. This one seashell had this glue from the prior application. I could not get it off. I tried to melt it with the hair dryer. I tried to scrape it off, sand it off. It would not come off. I didn't want to break it, so I left it, and I said, well, it's tough, so it should hold it in. If anybody knows how to get this removed, please let me know in the comments. Thank you. And there it applied very well also with this wood glue, Gorilla wood glue. Now I'm going to apply the clear white wax over the decoupaged paper and over the seashell. I'm just going to give it one coat over the whole thing, just to kind of protect everything. I don't know what the reason is. I could have used Mod Podge also to seal this instead of the clear wax, but the clear wax is also going to seal this paper, or I could have done that the same. I'm cutting out the backer paper for the back of the frame to make it look nice and neat, and try to make it look as professional as possible. Professional I'm not, but hopefully when I'm done it will look like. I did cut it a little bit too big, and I just trimmed off the extra to make it the paper go right to the edge. I'm cleaning my glass with the window cleaner, wiping it off with the paper towel. I could not figure out how I'm going to hold that glass in place. The area was just too narrow. The area inside was too narrow to put a little tab or hook or to hold the glass in place, so I just decided to put a little touch of wood glue on the corners to hold the glass. I was anxious to see how well the glue held this glass. It didn't hold. It had only been 30 minutes, so I did glue again. Made it overnight. And so now I'm touching up cleaning the glass again. I had too many finger marks after gluing. Now I'm ready to insert the backer board with the seashell into the slot of the frame, and it fit in there perfectly now. And I'm going to be applying the square craft paper to cover the back end, trying to make it look nice and neat. And I'm going to be using this roll of, I purchased this from Amazon, this two-sided tape to all the four edges of the the frame. And I did have to trim a little bit off. It was just a little bit too big, which is better than being too small. Just pulling off that protective paper from the tape was just a little tricky, so I ended up on some of them to go to the other edge, and ended up working a lot better. And now I'm pressing down the craft paper onto the tape, rubbing it in the corners with my fingers. It looks so nice and neat. I love it. Going to the next one, next frame, removing the protective wax paper from the tape. I'll be using a saw hanger for these frames. It's a 1 inch or 1.5 inches. I couldn't find a smaller, and so I ended up going with this size, and I'm glad I did. I think it might have been a little harder if the screw ended up being a little smaller, Maybe not, but anyway, this is going to work fine. So I also did not pre-drill the holes because the edge of the frame was a little narrow, and I just wanted to make sure I didn't go and let the drill slip. So I didn't pre-drill. I just used a little muscle power with the hand Phillips screwdriver. Here's my beautiful upcycled rustic seashell frames. I hope you enjoyed my video and are inspired to upcycle any old, cruddy, dirty frame you may have lying around. Thank you. Bye.